today's video, I'm going to take you through the process of editing multicam footage inside of Final Cut Pro. This technique is a great way to keep your viewer engaged with your video. If you have a podcast, cooking channel, gaming channel, really anything, this is a great way to add depth to your video and keep your viewer engaged until the end. You most commonly see this effect in music videos, documentary style videos, movies and shows that you watch. And speaking of movies and shows, have you been addicted to anything lately? I want to know in the comments down below. I recently just finished The Glory on Netflix. It's considered a revenge tragedy, and what I love about it is the character development and the cinematography is next level. So if you're watching anything, let me know in the comments down below. So before we jump into the rest of this tutorial, I want to quickly go over the camera setup that I have. This is camera 1 that I'm looking at, and camera 2 is right over here. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is it's very easy to edit this together if you have the same camera brands on both cameras. So right now I have 2 Canons, and it's going to make the editing process a little bit easier. That way the picture profiles that are built in your camera will match easier. Not saying you can't do this with another camera, you just might struggle a little bit more when going to edit it. You're going to want to make sure that the color matches as best as possible. So say you had a Canon and a Sony, I'd say try your best to have them both at 0 saturation, have the contrast almost the same as possible, so that way when you go to edit them together, it looks cohesive. You can also try this with your iPhone too as well, although that is a whole different picture profile, so you're gonna maybe want to shoot that in a RAW or whatever is the best setting on your iPhone according to your camera. The only other thing I'd mention here is you're going to want to consider the 180-degree rule. For simplicity, you don't want to move your camera angles anywhere outside of 180-degree range. So if I were to have one here and one behind me, that's basically breaking the 180-degree rule. Not saying you can't break this rule, because again, rules are meant to be broken, especially in film. I find it's best to just stick to the 180-degree rule and try to keep the cameras on the same height and axis, so that way when you cut from angle to angle, the viewer doesn't feel removed in between each shot. One last thing I want to mention, having your second angle shot on the shadowed side of your face, so right here, this is my left side, that creates a more dramatic look. So if you're interviewing somebody and you really want to get some emotion out of the shot and make the viewer feel something, I find cutting to that second angle is best because it really creates a dramatic feel. So without further ado, let's jump into Final Cut Pro and I'll edit these 2 camera clips together so you can see how to do this for yourself. What I'm going to do is now select both of these clips. Then we're going to right click and hit New Multicam Clip. You can title this whatever you'd like. And then make sure it's in the event that I need. I'm going to keep it in this one. And what you want to do is use audio for synchronization. So I'll show you, but at the beginning I clapped 2 times, so that way the audio should sync up perfectly. And I'm just going to change the setting to 24 frames, so you can just make sure that this matched the file size that you're shooting the video at, and that everything else can stay automatic. You don't have to worry about changing anything from here. So we're going to hit OK, and now Final Cut is automatically going to put together these clips into one multicam clip. Okay, so now it has the new multicam clip here. You can tell at the top left corner there's the 4 boxes, so that's how you know it's ready to go. We're gonna hit E, so it goes into the end of our timeline here. Audio spikes twice right here, so I'm gonna hit Alt left, and that's gonna cut it out. So now from here you can make your cuts, add transitions, or anything like that, however you normally edit. Let's say on the first clap you can see this angle, and then by the next one I want you to see the other angle. So I'm going to have it cut right here, Command B. I'm going to right click on this clip and come up to video angle. So this is our active video angle. So I'm going to hit here on EOS Digital 1. Now we'll play that back. Bingo. So when I say welcome to today's video, I'll cut out that little blank space there, a little bit more here. And then we'll cut back to the other video angle on this portion. So we'll go back there. Welcome. Let it hold just a little bit longer, and then you can see the difference. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to just cut out this clapping portion, and we'll act as if it's a regular video that we're going to edit. And this is a perfect thing to use if you're doing a talking head portion, because in that way, in between the cuts, you can change the camera angles. That's one thing that I love about this. On this clip here, I'm going to change the video angle to our other camera, and we'll go back. Welcome to today's video. I want to take you through how you can edit multicam footage inside of Final Cut Pro. And you can keep going through and just editing back and forth and holding on to whichever shots you like to at that time. And then what I find works best for when you're trying to finalize your color grade and everything is hit Command 7, and you can make any adjustments. This is going to be my main shot, so I could go through and edit that however I'd like it to look. So once I have the color that I like on this clip, what I'm going to do is use the comparison viewer. So we're going to go up to our window and go into show workspace and have comparison viewer turned on. So from here I want to make sure my playhead is on this clip that I like. Hit save frame. So now we can edit this angle to try to match that one. So I bring up the highlights a little bit more, with the midtones, and then dial it in to as close as you can to the other footage, and that way it looks seamless. You can see here when I click this clip, the color wheels is on. And when I click this one, the color wheels is on as well. So now we can go through and just keep editing it down. Another thing that's great about the multicam clip is if you want to change the audio angle, so you don't like the one that's currently playing, you can go to active audio angle and change this to the other angle that you have. This technique is a great way to keep your viewer engaged. So obviously this isn't the angle that I want, so I'll just keep it here. But that's something you can easily change to make sure that the audio is the one that you want. And that's really all there is to it. So let's jump back in front of the camera and wrap this video up. Now you know how to edit multicam clips inside of Final Cut Pro. And don't forget, you don't just have to use 2 camera angles. If you have 3, 4 more, you can put them all together in Final Cut Pro and use the same technique that we used today to edit all the footage together. I'm the Creative Fro, keeping you in the know. I'll see you next time for another video.